술 냄새나.
God damn shit. 아 술을 I'm so drunk.
나 보면서 얘기하지 마.
So much drunk.
우리 같이 먹었잖아 오늘 회식하면서.
그쵸. 근데 형 먼저 가셨잖아요.
Beat my heart's home. Guess you were biding your turn to go. Oh, I really should've known. We were dynamite till we hit a red light. Then I see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. God, your love was real, but it's not for us. Now you can't decide. Your energy, yeah, you sing Was you playing games? Was you really
보자마자 단수 맞고 사는 거지.
Then I see the signs. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. Thought your love was real, but it's not for us.
어? 짠. 진 앉아가 뭐하나 우리 진. 자가 짠. 영어로 뭐야? 지영 또 온다. 지영 또 온다. 또 온다. 아닌가? 아닌가 봐. 우리
This time is it for us. After all this time is it for us.
안녕.
We were dynamite till we hit a red light. Then I see the sign. Oh, after all that time, this is it for us. You don't wanna try. God, your love.
안녕.
뭐해?
나 라이브 이제 끝날라고.
어?
라이브 이제
그때까지 라이브 했었어?
It's real, but it's not for us. Now you can't decide. Oh.
안녕히 계세요. 안녕. 안녕. 갈게요.
Now you can't decide. After all this time, is it for
안녕.
뭐해?
us? You don't wanna try. God, your love was real, but it's not for us. Now you can't decide. After all this time, is it for us?
야 중마 빨리 꺼.
끄라 왜요?
어?
왜 끄라 그래요? 방송하고 있는데.
우리끼리 오붓한 대화를 하기 위해.
Like it's delirium, ay, ay, like it's delirium, ay, I got delirium, ay.
너 몇 시? 얼마나 됐냐? 35분? 알겠어요. 여러분 이게 또 급하게 방송이 마무리가
여러분
됐는데
내일은 제가 올게요. 안녕.
여러분 잘 자요.
잘 자요. 안녕.
굿나잇.
Like it's delirium, yeah, yeah, like it's delirium. She just wanna bounce to it, baby, get your giddy on. Walk up to the stage with a drink, like
안녕.
뭐해?
나 라이브 이제 끝날라고.
어?
I'm giving on, but I never came here to sing what I'm really on. Giving dividends, I'm trying to boost your career and all. Know you got a binge, you ain't got one with the ceiling gone. If you wanna get it gone, give me the experience. Make me a believer like a feature at the cinema. Then we gotta keep it all a secret like the Pentagon. All these peeping times, people asking me what we've been on. I know that it's bond, they just wishing they could watch it glow, watch it go through the fire like the Shaka song. Or was it yeah, yeah, yeah? Either way, she gon' play the PlayStation. I'll play
뭐해?
나 라이브 이제 끝날라고.
어?
the Xbox, good gracious. I'm so grateful, it made me say thank you.
나 라이브 이제 끝날라고.
어?
라이브 이제
그때까지 라이브 했었어?
아니 나 방금 전까지 있다가
Just wishing they could watch it glow, watch it go through the fire like the Shaka song.
안녕.
뭐해?
나 라이브 이제 끝내려고.
어?
라이브 이제
그때까지 라이브 했었어?
아니 나 방금 전까지 있다가 누가 나를
가자 빨리.
가야지. 아니 형이
자면 안 돼.
형이 간다고 하면 어떡해. 지금 비밀인데.
뭐를? 놀이공원. 아
놀이공원? 우리 놀이공원 가는 거야?
그럼.
오케이. 어디 놀이공원 갈게? 산타모니카 쪽?
그럼.
오케이 우리 산타모니카 놀이공원으로 지금 바로 출발할 거예요.
산타모니카에서 만납시다.
형 때문에 들켰잖아요. 이거 뭐 어떡할 거야?
가자 빨리.
오케이 Santa Monica, let's go, let's do it, let's shimmer. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Bye bye. Yeah.
I'm tryna boost your career and all. Know you got a Benz, you ain't got one with the ceiling gone. If you wanna get it gone, give me the experience. Make me a believer like a feature at the cinema. Then we gotta keep it all a secret like the Pentagon. All these peeping times, people asking me what we been on. You know that.
간다고 하면 어떡해. 지금 비밀인데.
뭐를? 놀이공원. 아
놀이공원? 우리 놀이공원 가는 거야?
그럼.
오케이.
They just wishing they could watch it glow, watch it go through the fire like the Shaka song. Or was it yeah, yeah, yeah? Either way, she gon' play the PlayStation. I play the Xbox. Good gracious, I'm so grateful. It made me say thank you, thank you, thank you, yeah. I swear.
우리 산타모니카 놀이공원으로 지금 바로 출발할 거예요.
산타모니카에서 만납시다.
형 때문에 들켰잖아요. 이거 뭐 어떡할 거야?
가자 빨리.
오케이
Me all night long. Yeah, like it's delirium. She just wanna bounce to it, baby. Get your giddy on. Walk up to the stage with a drink like I'm Giveon, but I never came here to sing what I'm really on. Giving dividends. I'm tryna boost your career and all. Know you got a Benz, you ain't got one with the ceiling gone. If you wanna get it gone, give me the experience. Make me a believer like a feature at the cinema. Then we gotta keep it all a secret like the Pentagon. All these peeping times, people asking me what we been on. You know that it's bond. They just wishing they could watch it glow, watch it go through the fire like the Shaka song. Ay, through the fire like a Shaka song. Ay, through the fire like I'm taking off. Like a rocket, I got wishes in my pocket. I can grant a couple things, girl. There really ain't no problem, cause you I swear she drives me crazy. Think my brain is gone.
God damn shit.
나 보면서 얘기하지 마.
Really ain't no problem, cause you I swear she drives me crazy. Think my brain is gone. Man, I just can't shake it like delirium. When I get this faded, your body, I just can't shake it. And I just want you to grind upon me all night long. Like it's delirium, ay, ay, like it's delirium, ay, I got delirium, ay, like it's delirium, yeah, like it's delirium, ay, like it's delirium, ay, I got delirium, like it's delirium.
Hate it when my doubts swell up like the ocean. It feels like I could drown in my tears. Everything's overflowing. Scared that I won't.
아니 나 방금 전까지 있다가 아니 형이
자면 안 돼.
형이 간다고 하면 어떡해. 지금 비밀인데. 놀이공원? 우리 놀이공원 가는 거야?
그럼.
오케이. 형 때문에 들켰잖아요. 이거 뭐 어떡할 거야?
Get it right. My nerves are working overtime.
오케이 우리 산타모니카 놀이공원으로 지금 바로 출발할 거예요. 그러면 제가 얘기해 드릴게요. 진영이 요즘 하고 있는 게임은 뭔지 알아요?
어렵잖아.
맞아요. 진영이 사실 저는 굉장히 뉴비였는데요.
나도 뉴비해.
아니지 형은 이제 고인물이지. 아니 형이
자면 안 돼.
형이 간다고 하면 어떡해. 지금 비밀인데.
Overtime. Tell myself to calm down and breathe. Step out of the shadows into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it louder. This is what you
가자 빨리. 잠 자면 안 돼.
그냥 간다고 해요.
산타모니카에서 만납시다.
형
This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. 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 Once I get in and I put it in drive, ain't no more stopping me, don't even try. Controlling the chaos, controlling the vibe. Yeah, it's all the shots that you don't take. You'll never be heard if you don't say. Just gotta get out your own way. You can't learn to fly on your own if you don't let go.
아니 태영이 형이 뭔지 말할지 모르니까 여기서 눈을 뗄 수가 없네.
Step out of the shadows, into the fire. Don't be afraid to go out on a wire. Live in the moment, turn it up.
딱 눈 감으려고 하는데 그 남준이 형이 갑자기 단톡방에 문자 보내가지고 종가 라이브 잘 보다 간다. 뭐야 라이브 하고 있어? 해가지고 보는데 갑자기 뭐 어머님 아버님 전 이런 아들입니다. 뭐 이런 얘기하고 있길래 뭐야 하면서
Live in the moment, turn it up louder. This is what you're made for. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless. You just gotta be fearless.
Well, I saddled up my suit, headed out at dawn.
let's go
Yeah, I saddled up my suit, headed
Let's
out at
go,
dawn.
let's go.
Ain't no place gonna hold me when the road keeps rolling on. Woo. Yeah. Left my baby crying, said she can't live that way.
오늘 두 분 커플이네요. 마스크? 내 거예요?
Like a burning coin. Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dust road to join. Woo! 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 Now I'm rolling through the distance, look like a burning coin. Saw the sun in the distance, look like a burning coin. Lord, I don't need no preacher, just that dust road to join. rolling through the valley, wind hums through my hair.